Welcome to another episode of Full Contact Marriage. I'm Scott, this is my wife Stephanie, and we are here to talk about sports. So let's start off with the Montreal Canadiens. A lot of our viewers are Canadiens fans, and they put on a clinic of how to let in goals. Losing 10-0 to Columbus in the one game, a lot of people were pretty upset at this. I thought it showed a lot of character.
People were upset about what?
Montreal losing by 10 goals.
That's what they were upset about?
Yeah, that's what they were upset about. They got their asses handed to them in an embarrassing fashion.
They also let their goalie hang out to dry for 10 goals.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. If you watch the game, their defense was nowhere. They just let Columbus walk in.
Kids, let this be a lesson to you. As a goalie, did he get mad? Did he scream and yell and throw a fit?
No, he
didn't.
He did great. He held his composure. I'm saying the Montreal Canadiens left him out to dry.
Yeah, nobody's arguing that. I'm just saying it takes a lot of class and shows good character to stand in there when your team's not playing around you and trying the best you can and not throw hissy fits when things don't go your way. It's a really good lesson. Unlike somebody else who went and demanded a trade when he was there. You've already lost the game. You're down by 5 or 6 goals. You're keeping Price for the next day. He knew he was in there to play. He knew it was his game. So he did what he did. And
apparently he was the only player to show up.
I think that's good for him. I think it shows good character. Not a lot of guys would hang in there for 10 goals.
Not a lot of goalies have to hang in there for 10 goals. Maybe their defense should have done something. At least the Montreal Canadiens came out the next 2 games and have won those.
Yeah, they've played well against Boston. They have a good team, right?
Well, yeah.
And Carey Price has done really well for them. Their backup was okay. What I don't understand is they brought up another goalie. Price wasn't going to play, so why wouldn't you healthy scratch him and put in the guy they got from Pittsburgh, Condon? They brought Condon in the day before. Maybe he wasn't with the team. I don't know the details. But if you're not going to play him, don't dress him. Blue Jays made some qualifying offers to Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. And what do you think they're going to get out of those? I think they're both going to be declined, so...
Yeah, so they get to go and test the market right now, right? And then they get to decide if they want to accept those offers. I don't think that's going to happen either. From what I think we've all heard is both of them are looking to go to Boston.
I think
Edwin's looking to
Edwin's probably going to leave. So here's how I break this down. The guy they want to keep doesn't want to be there, and the guy that they would like to keep wants too much money for what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. 22 home runs, come on. We can get that elsewhere in the league for a lot cheaper.
Now you need to, if Edwin's going to leave, I think he'll get the money. I think they might change their offer. I don't know if they can. I don't know any of the rules around the MLB qualifying offers, but I think that it's a lot harder to replace both of those guys. I think they'll try and keep one.
It's a lot harder to replace 46 home runs than it is to replace 22 on the free agent market. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have young guys like Saunders that they didn't make an offer to, so they're obviously not planning to keep him. I thought he had a good year.
I thought he did too.
You know, so where you got a guy like Upton that's not going to give you 22 that we brought in just in case those guys left, Bautista left. But I think it comes down to they're not going to get Edwin. Are they going to overpay for Bautista? Quite possibly. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're better off to let him go and spend the combined money on somebody else or a couple other players.
Mm-hmm. So if you haven't watched our video on the rant of sports in America, you really should go and find that one and watch it, because apparently it is not just Florida, which is what I was ranting about. It is apparently incredibly hard to also find baseball, America's game, in California. My parents just got back from a trip, and they tried to watch Game 7 of the Cubs winning the World Series, and they couldn't find the game. And they finally found one in a lounge somewhere, and they were the only ones watching it. No one else was there. Like, I don't understand you, America. Like, especially after yesterday, I don't get it. I also just learned that you guys can't bet on sports. It's weird. You're a weird country.
They can, but they're very limited in their options. I can go to the
The
7-Eleven and I can bet on any sports game. I can bet on like college football. I can, which is ridiculous.
I don't watch college football.
We don't even watch college football, so yeah. I get the draw to college football. I really do. You're seeing the future of the NFL with the system that they have to play 4 years of college before they're eligible for the draft, or however it is, 2 years or whatever it is. But it is the future of the sport. Mm-hmm. So I see why there is a draw. It's just not for me. Speaking of football, what about that Seahawks game? Wow. We were very confused at a part of the game when Sherman went offside, clearly offside. And initially it looked like he took out the kicker. No understanding why I wasn't roughing the kicker. I don't understand why it wasn't blown down sooner.
Well, to be fair, so he was offside, and you could see him like stutter, and then nothing happened. They didn't blow the call or blow the whistle, so he kept going. I mean, if they're not going to blow the whistle, you have to keep playing the play. So he went for the ball, which he did, and while that happened, he took out the kicker.
So watching it live, it looked like the officials completely blew the call. I don't know why this wasn't roughing the kicker. We're both Seahawks fans, so we usually are okay when calls go our way, because the game before we sure didn't get any, like none, and that was another wonderfully officiated game. It looked like he just ran over the guy. Watching the slow motion after the game, I have to commend the officials on making the proper call. Sherman touched the ball before he hit the kicker, which made it illegal contact, which I didn't see. I don't think my wife saw at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
So even though they blew the offside, it probably could have finished some guy's career. Good job watching the football and making that call. So, well, that's it for us here on Full Contact Marriage. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Subscribe to our channels. If there's something you want to see us talk about, message us on either one of those and we'll be happy to discuss it. And we'll see you guys next week.